Dudes, what's up, dudes? All right, I need some help. This is a real like I'm just talking at you video. I need some opinion here. And I really love for you to let me know in the comments. I, for the last several years, have really been on like a vintage kick. Okay. I bought every Fender from the 60s, right? And I did that more because I wanted to profile them, and it was like I wanted to make a big pack, and I did all that. But ever since then, I've been like, I don't want to break it up, right? I don't want to break them up, right? It's like 13 amps, right? And they're all together, And it's one of those things where it's like, we sell one, then you don't have the complete set anymore. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to do that, but I got a couple guitars that are older. I got some 60s guitars and a 70s guitar or two. And I don't take them out of my house. I don't play them. Man, I put them in some demos, and I've like told myself I'm hanging on to them because they look good in the demos and they're awesome. But to be honest with you, man, I like playing stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? I like stuff like this over like an old Trini Lopez. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but like, I'm looking at what you can get for something like that. And I got this like 70s Gibson too that's worth a good amount of money. And I got a couple older like Marshalls that have really gone up in price, man. And it's just to the point where I'm like, why do I still own this? I don't even know if it wasn't for the nostalgia and the lore and the romance of it, if I would actually, like, how do I pull myself away from all that and say, this is undoubtedly a great guitar? I'm afraid to take them out of the house. I'm afraid to use them too much. I'm afraid they're going to break. You know what I mean? And it's like, is this what guitar playing's about? I don't think so. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm kind of like, I own some of this stuff and I go like, actually, this kind of sucks. Stuff breaks a lot. It doesn't work a lot. It's not quite as well put together as some of the newer stuff a lot of times. And I know I could bring it in and have people do stuff, but it's just like, oh, this switch failed. Oh, this is getting crackly. This is like, oh, it's just, the tuning's a little off. And it's like, I could start to modify stuff to like make the tuning, like this tuner's real old and it needs it. And it's like, I could change it, but then that takes away from the value. And then that feels like I'm putting money down the drain, or I'm taking away from something that, is never going to be on the earth again if I start modifying some vintage thing, even if I change a nut or I get a refret or whatever. And it's just like, but the point of guitar is to play it, right? And it almost just makes me think like, look, is vintage kind of dumb? Is it kind of dumb? Is it all kind of dumb? And that's a little what I think sometimes, man. And it's got me looking, I got myself looking on Reverb at all these guitars that look like this, a little more rocky, flashy stuff that I've just overlooked. I went and picked up a Charvel that's on its way to me, and it just is the kind of thing where it looks a certain way, and I've overlooked those types of guitars, but then when I actually play them, I go, actually, this is what I like. It's just like I've held on to a lot of stuff for a long time, just in the name of like, oh, that's this fabled thing, and it's got this and it's got that. And at the end of the day, I'm like, maybe I should just trade this in and buy a new minivan. You know what I'm saying, man? Like maybe like, because it's like it's like some of these things, like I would not buy them again at this price. I would not buy it again at this price. But I bought it when values were a bit down in 2020, 2021. Then everything started just going crazy, kind of going up. And so now I'm looking at a guitar like this, and I'm like, this is $550. What a steal. Are you into the vintage thing? Is it boring? Is it dumb? It's really got me going like lately, like I think I'm gonna unload like some bigger value, bigger dollar stuff because it's just like, what do I need this for? I keep some stuff around because like to profile. You know what I mean? Like I got a Vibroverb over there. Those are going for like 8,000-9,000 at this point. Maybe less now. I don't know. The prices are a little bit down, but some of the really nice vintage stuff, have not come down at all. It's like I'm going to hang on to that because I bought it at a time when it was much cheaper and prices have just gone crazy. And then, I'm not going to pay now what a Vibroverb's worth. I don't think the amp's worth that. I don't think it sounds so great, but I can, still make packs with it. And as new platforms come out, I haven't done that for Tonex, haven't done it for NAMM, and so I'll do that. But, I kind of just lately I'm like, I feel a bit over it. Feel a bit over the whole just like vintage thing, and I feel truly like, man, I would just rather play a Kemper anyway than a lot of these older amps. I'd rather just play a Tonex and an HX Stomp. I'd rather just like use that little NAMM Pocket Master which I just got. I'm like, I would just rather do this and put the sounds together and like, oh, it's this with a plate reverb. Like this is just a plate verb, And it's so much more rewarding having like a finished thing than like this really sensitive, like, oh, this thing has so much like. That's why I just like saw this TikTok and this guy's like, oh, he's basically saying like digital modelers are like fake, like a woman who gets a little surgery, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, they're fun to look at across the room, but if you can't tell the difference, you're just straight. It's just like, bro. I just don't agree. I'm kind of like feeling like the vintage thing is just like, it's missing the point. Because what's the point? The music's the point. You know what I'm saying?